Well, RadioShack has no stores in Russia, and that might be a good thing since the struggling retailer is having a hard enough time attracting shoppers right here in the U.S. After a terrible fourth quarter, which included the holiday season, shares of RadioShack tumbled 17% today, forcing the company to announce some major changes. Courtney Reagan has more on the massive number of store closings to come and whether RadioShack can even survive.
For decades, RadioShack has been the answer for folks in an electronic pinch, needing that cable or connector. But some believe RadioShack may be entering the beginning of the end of its lifetime as the neighborhood electronic solution. Today, the retailer announced a big drop in holiday sales, a larger loss than a year ago, and said it will be closing 1,100 underperforming locations. That's 20% of its existing stores.
The 80s called. They want their store back.
The retailer did have a well-received Super Bowl commercial, poking fun at its stale store appearance and brand, though it seems consumers were more entertained than moved to head to the nearest RadioShack to check out the changes. While analysts acknowledge the handful of remodeled RadioShack stores are much more attractive and say CEO Joe Magnacca deserves credit for the changes, it's likely just not enough.
They're going to go to zero. They're going to go into reorganization. They're going to close a whole lot of stores, which they've already started. They're going to try to find dip financing so they can remodel the ones that are left. They're going to try to partner with somebody and get an online business going and try to come back.
Competition, both online and offline, coupled with a slowing wireless industry, are just part of the reasons RadioShack's losses are expected to exacerbate. Though perhaps more damaging has been the retailer's failure to attract younger shoppers. Today's report marks more than 2 years since RadioShack has made a profit. Janney Capital Markets analyst David Strasser says RadioShack's release today, quote, reads somewhat like the Circuit City press release of 2008 before it filed for bankruptcy later that year. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Courtney Reagan.